Hi, I'm Senora Santiago, and today I'll be going over the imperfect tense with you guys. Last class, you hopefully started going over the yo form of the imperfect tense, but now we want to look at the rest of the imperfect tense and figure out what the new endings are that we need to learn and if there are any irregulars to the imperfect tense. All right, so first, you should have already completed the calentamiento, the warm up for today. You're supposed to translate from Spanish to English. If you have not finished the warm up for today, you need to stop the video, pull out your warm up, and complete this now. If the class has already finished the warm up, then we can move on. So, if we've finished the warm up, everybody needs their imperfect tense notes out in front of them. They should have been handed this at the beginning of class, and if not, hand those notes out now. And everybody needs to have those notes out in front of them pretty much for the rest of class. So make sure that you do not lose those notes. All right. The yo form of the imperfect tense. Again, we've gone over this last class. So if it's an AR verb and we want the yo ending for an AR verb in the imperfect tense, the ending is going to be aba. Like hablar, we take off the AR ending and we're going to add the aba ending and we get hablaba. All right, if it's an ER or an IR verb in the imperfect tense and we want the yo ending, we're going to say it's comía, vivía. It's got an ia ending. I with an accent A, ia. So we've got hablaba, comía, vivía. Yo comía un sándwich, okay, cuando era de niña. I ate a sandwich when I was a kid. Well, probably PB&J, right? All right, going on to the to form. That's you guys, estudiantes. If I'm talking to you and I want the you ending in the imperfect tense, it's going to be abas. So it's just like the yo ending, aba, but now I'm adding an S, hablabas. Same thing with the ER-IR. It's got that same ia ending, but now we're adding an S, comías, vivías. And we've seen this S on the to form before, like in the present tense, comes means you eat. So comías, now with an S on the end, is you used to eat. So the imperfect tense is basically stuff that you used to do. Okay? Now, moving on, we have the LA usted. For an AR verb, it's aba. So this is the exact same as we've seen with the yo form. Hablaba, comía, vivía. Again, the ER-IR endings are the exact same as the yo form. So if there is absolutely no difference between hablaba in the yo form and hablaba in the LA usted form, how do I tell the difference in a sentence? Well, if I give you a sentence that you're going to conjugate and there's a blank in that sentence, I'm going to go ahead and give you the yo or the LA usted. But if there's a native speaker speaking to you and they just say, yo vivía, blah, 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 okay? Or maybe they don't even say yo, they just say vivía. Then you don't really know if it's in the yo or the LA. The only way that you can tell is by the context of what they're saying, the entire context. You need to listen to what they say through the rest of the sentence, or you need to listen to what they've said previously to kind of get that information. And y'all know this teacher, right? Senora Sabes. All right, moving on. We've got the nosotros form. So we've got, if it's an AR verb, it's going to end in an habamos. Now, this one does have an accent right here because this is where the emphasis is when we say this word, hablábamos. Okay, hablábamos. And it's kind of fun to say that because of the blah, blah, right? Hablábamos. And then we've got íamos. That's the ER-IR ending for the nosotros form. So we've got habamos or íamos. Moving on. Ellos, ellas, ustedes. This is the they form. It, again, looks very similar, aba, but now we're adding an in, aban, hablaban. And again, we've seen the N on the end of the they form before. In the present tense, it was ellos comen. It's got an N on the end. And now it's ellos comían. So we're sticking with that N, but now we've got that imperfect ending, ian. So it's either aban or ian. Pretty simple because most of the endings in the imperfect tense look really similarly, and they follow some rules that we've learned before. So it shouldn't be too difficult to memorize those, but it is a matter of memorization, and the faster you do that, the better. All right, la niñez de Señora Santiago, that's me. My childhood, that's what la niñez means. En mi niñez, me gustaba ver a Sailor Moon. I don't know if you know this character, but she was big in my day. Y me gustaba is in the imperfect tense. It's got that aba ending. And it says that I used to like to watch Sailor Moon. Me gustaba ver a Sailor Moon. Now, I'm talking about when I was a kid. And that's why we're using the imperfect tense. Remember, the preterite tense is used to talk about completed actions in the past, like I ate cereal for breakfast this morning. That is done. It's over with. When did it happen? It happened this morning. When I'm using the imperfect tense, I'm talking about my childhood, things that I might not know when it happened in the past, things that happened maybe every Sunday in the past, but could I have skipped a Sunday? Probably. I don't really know when it happened. So I'm using the imperfect tense. Also use the imperfect tense to describe kind of background information. Me gustaba ver a Sailor Moon. All right. Me encantaba a Lizzie McGuire. I loved Lizzie McGuire. I used to love Lizzie McGuire when I was a kid. Y Lizzie McGuire, un claro ejemplo de bipolaridad. That says Lizzie McGuire, a clear example of bipolarism. I mean, if you've seen the show, you would kind of get that that's funny. And maybe you have. But again, that's back in my day what I used to watch. Me encantaba a Lizzie McGuire. It's got that aba ending. And because it says it, I used to love, right? This is where the I is, and this is it. All right, now, veía a That's a Raven. I used to watch That's a Raven, and this is an ia ending because it's an er verb. We've been looking at me encantaba, me gustaba. Now we've got ia because of the er. Veía That's a Raven. And that was a really fun show that I used to watch. And even here is Eddie in Spanish class. Tienes mucha suerte. Salsa? You have a lot of work, or you're very lucky because he just passed a test and she knew he didn't study. All he can say is salsa. So, interesante. All right. Y escuchaba los hit clips cada día de NSYNC y Britney Spears. I used to have these little hit clip things that it was kind of just a 30-second clip of these songs, and you would insert these little discs into this player, and it had not two headphones, one like earbud. And I had to listen to I loved listening to those. And you would have a whole clip of all of these hit clips. So escuchaba comes from escuchar. It's an AR verb, so we added the aba ending. Why? Because it's in the yo form. Yo escuchaba los hit clips cada día de NSYNC y Britney Spears. All right, y usábamos teléfonos así. Now, usar is an AR verb, but I use the habamos ending, and that does have an accent on that first A, habamos. And the reason why I put it habamos is because it's not yo anymore. It's in the nosotros form. So I'm saying we used to use phones like this. Usábamos teléfonos así, con Snake. Y'all remember that snake game where you had to get the snake run around and try to get this part? It was a lot of fun. Usábamos teléfonos así y era muy divertido. All right, now, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to take the back of your warm-up, and I want you to write 2 sentences per each one of these on the board. So I want you to write 2 sentences that start off with Cuando yo era de niño or niña, depending on if you're a boy or girl, right? Cuando yo era de niña, ... So I said a lot of sentences. Cuando yo era de niña, veía That's a Raven. And I used an imperfect verb. So whatever verb you use, you need to use your notes and make sure that you are using the correct ending and you're adding that in. So, for example, if I'm going to use aprender, I used to learn something. Like I used to learn Spanish when I was a kid. Okay, so I'm going to take this ER verb. I'm going to take off the ending, and I'm going to add the appropriate ER ending for the yo. And if you're to look at your notes, you would know that that is an I with an accent ending. All right. I want you to go ahead and give me 2 sentences with cuando yo era de niña or niño and 2 sentences with me gustaba. All right. And once you're finished with that, then you're going to go ahead and play the second video. All right. Thank you.